G'day, Ben from Duck Playing Chicken here with a new review video. I'm in between builds at the moment and I've been wanting to make this video for a while. So just first up, this is going to be a review of the three tools you see here. Grinding tools for model making. All of these I purchased with my own money, so none of these have been, provided to me for free or anything like that. So the opinions I'm going to give are definitely my own. And I want to talk about the pros and cons of each one of these, as your needs may vary as far as what sort of tools you need for model making. Now, here we have the Proxxon Micromot. This is the 60E. We have a, let's see what model, nail drill machine. So this is a cheapie from AliExpress. And then finally we have the Dremel, which is a model 398. I believe it's actually the 400 series. So digital Dremel 400. And I'll start with the pros and cons of each of them. So I'll start with the Dremel. Now, obviously Dremel's sort of got a good name for sort of being this versatile tool that you can use. You can get cut off sanding discs. You can obviously use drills in it and that sort of thing. So a couple of really good things about it is the versatility of the Dremel and the availability of the the bits that you can attach to the thing. They also have a whole lot of other things like a drill press system and like a routing cover that you can add to it. So it's pretty versatile, and certainly where I am in Australia, it's really readily available. Now this one does have a speed adjustment, and that's where the cons come in as far as using this for plastic models. Now I use this tool for a whole lot of other purposes. For plastic models, I used it once, I learnt my lesson, never used it again. The reason for that is because this starts at 5,000 RPM. So it basically cooks plastic. It doesn't grind it, it just turns it into a blob. So as far as I'm concerned, I would not recommend this Dremel tool for any of your plastic model sort of modeling needs, that's for sure. But it is really versatile for other things. So if you're doing sort of you need to cut sort of small aluminium pipe, for example, this is perfectly fine. Or if you're grinding the wood, or sculpting in soapstone, that sort of thing, it's fine for that. So as far as I'm concerned, I would not recommend this tool for plastic model kits. Now the next one is the nail drill machine, and this comes with a battery pack, so it's sort of rechargeable and pretty portable. Now this is like the Dremel, it's variable speed, so you can get this down to next to nothing as far as the speed of the bit goes. This is like the pros for this is they're really cheap, and the fact that the variable speed, you can get it really low to the point where you're actually going to be able to grind the plastic as opposed to just melting it in a blob. The con with this is the torque. So if you've got a bit of plastic that's thick and you need to sort of grind it, as soon as you apply any pressure, the bit will slow down. So it just does not have the torque, which is understandable. It's not designed for carving into plastic model kits. It's designed for coatings on nails and stuff like that. So this is good for beginners, and I've actually used this. I mean, I've used a couple of variants of this for a number of years now, and it's certainly got me by. Like if you're on a budget, then this is a really good option. Just be warned though that all of these things have a limitation with the bits that you can use. So they all have to be of this particular type of bit. So it doesn't have an adjustable chuck on it, like It's literally just takes one size bits, and that's fine because I mean they're readily available, but it does kind of limit your options. Like it won't take sort of standard drill bits and that sort of thing. Just be careful, there are some really cheap and nasty versions of these where you'll find that the motor burns out pretty quick or the battery's not flash. You know, so just buyer beware. Last one I had died on me, you know, but it had worked for me for about, you know, 18 months or something like that. So anyway, it's a good option, and like I said, I've used this sort of system for a number of years. However, after sort of looking at what a lot of other people's sort of experiences and stuff, I ended up upgrading to the Proxxon. So again, this is the Micromot 60E. And as far as the pros go, this thing has the variable speed, and I use it in conjunction with, this is the NG2E power supply. And so between the dial on here and the dial on the actual tool, you can have this spinning at next to nothing. So it's great for sanding plastic. So, you know, the speed, the variable speed of it is really good. And the other thing I really like about this tool is the 3-jaw chuck in it. So that means if I push the button in, take this bit out, you can actually use drill bits in here, which is great. So it's one thing I really love about this tool, and it's a good quality chuck as well. So some of the cheaper chucks, you know, you can't get the drill bit in straight and that sort of thing, and you really tend to notice it when you're using very small drill bits. So that's one thing I really love about this tool. The other thing that I like about it is it does have weight, which is something that's really good when you're grinding thicker bits of plastic. However, I want to talk about some of the cons. So this is obviously a bit more expensive than, say, this tool here. That's not a major con, but it's just something to be aware of. And I'm not going to give you the price I paid because they vary, you know, depending on where you are. But this is certainly not a cheap option. And there's a couple of things that I'm sort of a little bit disappointed about, you know, the design of it. So I'll just quickly cover those. First of all, you've got these vents here, but that's normally where you sort of hold your hand. So, you know, certainly I'm right-handed, and this one on the right-hand side here gets almost completely blocked off when I use it. Now, I haven't seen any kind of performance issues because of that, but to me it just seems like a bit of an oversight. The other thing that I am not a fan of is these coil cables. These are just junk. I'm not a fan at all. And this is of the cheaper plastic kind. This is not a nice sort of silicon coiled cable. So yeah, not a fan of the cable. Obviously it's supposed to give you a little bit, you know, more length. I would have preferred just a nice, you know, silicon straight cable. But, you know, the build quality of it's fine. Like, it doesn't feel really cheap and nasty or anything. It feels solid in the hand. I suggest it has a decent motor in it. You know, it's not a cheap built machine by the feel of it. But, yeah, it just feels like the cable's a bit, I don't know, not great. The other thing is it has this strange connector here, which goes into the power supply. So obviously you plug it in there, and the other thing is there's a little bit of wiggle room with this dial here. It feels a little bit cheap and nasty. Saying that, I haven't had any problems with it. You know, it's not like I've had the magic smoke leak out or anything, you know, no bad electrical smells when I use it. It works perfectly fine. It just seems like the sort of finishing touches of it are a bit rough. And I guess, you know, they're building it to a price, but for me, it just feels a little bit cheap and nasty. The potentiometer that'll be underneath here feels fine. It's just the knob they've sort of used, and it's got a bit of wiggle room there. It's a bit how you're doing. The rest of the box is fine. You know, you've got this sort of bracket on the side to store this on, which is nice. Would I recommend this for people to use plastic models? Absolutely. I have no problem recommending it. Just be warned, it is a little bit more expensive, and but the pros for this far outweigh the cons of the other machines. So this has the torque. You can have it down very slow, but you can apply a lot of pressure before this motor will sort of struggle. So it's got a lot more torque than the nail drill, and it's got better speed control than the Dremel in the fact that it goes a lot lower than 5,000 RPM. So for me, the pros of this far outweigh the other two units, and I would have no problem recommending it. But like I said, I used the nail drill for years and years and didn't have too many issues. It was just time for me to upgrade, and I've been using this for quite a bit of time now, so I feel as though I'm in a better place to give my opinion. I know that's what drives the internet these days, but for me, when I see products out there and people review products, quite often it's people who've just opened them straight out of the box and say, oh yeah, these are really good. And it's like, no, for me, I want to know what it's like after some serious use. This has definitely had some serious use. It hasn't missed a beat. And in fact, I'm sort of thinking it's probably going to replace my Dremel anyway. So you can certainly use this for a lot of the other functions that the Dremel has. There are some additional attachments you can get for the Proxxon, like a drill press that you can sort of clamp this in and use for small drilling projects, like if you're drilling PCBs or very small holes. So it does have some of the similar versatility of the Dremel, but it just has the added benefit of great speed control. So that's it. As far as I'm concerned, this is a great tool. Couple of cons about it that I don't quite like, but saying that, the pros far outweigh it. On that note, I promise I will get back to modelling and showing off some building and painting of plastic models. Until then, I'll catch you later.